Hello friends, welcome to the Cold War Prepper. My name is Lee. I am not a fearmonger. I am not a chicken little guy. I am a solution provider. So because of that, I am so happy to announce that I have an affiliation now with Contingency Medical. So Contingency Medical is an important post-apocalyptic antibiotic provider. So you're going to be talking or filling out a questionnaire and getting together with a physician. Physician's going to take a look at all of your existing conditions, what you're prone to, your allergies and all that kinds of stuff. Get with a pharmacist and they're going to provide you with a kit and some of the most common ailments and things that they predict that we will see in a post-apocalyptic world. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I chose the medium one. This is the Ready Pack. So it has 7 bottles. I believe that the Ready Pack Plus also has 7 because you're going to get an extra dose or 2 of azithromycin. The Go Pack is the smallest of the 3. It treats diarrhea, whereas the Ready Pack has diarrhea, traveler's diarrhea. And so that's the primary difference between the two, other than the number of doses or number of recurring times that you get things. So just a little bit about me. Okay, I was getting an upper respiratory infection about every 3 months and doxycycline treatments and regimen. And finally, my primary care physician says, you know, we need to get you into an allergist. I believe this is all allergy related. Sure enough, it is allergy related. So I've started a regimen of getting my allergy shots. And as a result of that, I don't have to have the doxycycline every 3 months. But in a post-apocalyptic world, there won't be an allergy clinic for me to go get my shots. So having doxycycline is going to be extremely important to me. When we take a look at some of the other things that are going to be happening in a post-apocalyptic world, typhus, typhoid, cholera, dysentery, you name it, there's going to be bad bugs out there. I hate bugs, and we've got to kill those bugs. And so you need something that is prescription strength that's going to kill those bugs when you get them. You know, another fear of mine was back, I was still with Dell at that time. So this has to have been back in before 2000. And well, actually it was even before we moved to Round Rock. We were still in Austin. So it had to be probably around 1996, maybe around the same time as the cryptosporidiosis outbreak. I banged my leg into something and got a puncture wound out in the garage. And as a result of that, I got a tremendous infection. They gave me Rocephin, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And that stuff hurts so bad that they mix it with lidocaine, and it still knocked me out because of the pain. And they drew around the infection area with a Sharpie. They said, come back tomorrow. I went back the next day, said, oh, thank God it's down. If it had expanded, we would have had to have amputated your leg. And so they gave me another shot of Rocephin, and I was good to go after that. Okay, so puncture wounds, cuts, scrapes in a non-clean environment like you're going to see in a post-apocalyptic world, you're going to need to control those. Remember, I'm the guy that tells you every time I do a prepper haul, get a bottle of sterile saline wash so you can wash your wounds. Get some topical antibiotics, get some sort of good sterile bandages, because you don't want to have to go to the Rocephin route. Now, in between, in here, you do have the antibiotics to treat what that's basically called a cellulitis, or an infection caused by a break in the skin. And so they do have a regimen, or 3 or 4, for that here in this, which is fantastic because those little accidents happen all the time. Want to see proof? This morning, my little 15-year-old black long-haired Chihuahua, she weighs a total of maybe 3 pounds. I was feeling sorry for her. I picked her up and gave her some loving. My big Chihuahua that weighs somewhere around 8 pounds and is only 5 years old got jealous. And so she started pawing at me that she wanted me to put the little Chihuahua down. So I ended up with 2 humongous cuts in my arm. I've taken one of the pieces of tape off so I can kind of show this to you here. Here's the other piece of tape that I had. So I used my sterile wash I tell you to get. I used my topical antibiotic. I put a bandage over it. Then I taped it down so that I could control the bleeding. I told my wife I may have to get stitches this time because, you know, at my age it's thin skin. put a topical antibiotic on it after I washed it, and then I put a sterile dressing on it. You can still see, the blood and bruising underneath. The same thing, if you look on this side, you can see there's a little bit of infection going on. You can see that there's a little bit of bruising, still a little bit of bleeding. We've got, I think, the majority of the bleeding stopped. We've got the wound closed. But what I'm afraid of now is some sort of infection. What would happen? Right now, I'm not going to use this. This is going to be my post-apocalyptic solution. If I have to go to the doctor today, I'll go to the doctor today and I'll get a prescription from them specifically for this. But I do know that if I wake up tomorrow morning and, those boom booms have started falling on the U.S. and I can't go to the emergency room, I have a way of treating it if the topical antibiotic is not strong enough. So, what are some of the things that it says it can readily fix for you? The Ready Pack has 4 regimens to cure animal bites, 2 to 3 cellulitis events, a couple ear infections, a couple respiratory infections. I told you that's the doxycycline. That's because I won't have access to my allergy shots. So I know that in 3 months I'll need to cure an upper respiratory infection. Then they also have a couple regimens of strep and pharyngitis, and then you have a couple regimens to cure traveler's diarrhea. Traveler's diarrhea is going to be important because that's part of that E. coli type of food infection you're going to get from not preparing your food correctly or not washing your hands, poor sanitation before preparation, cooking, serving of food. That's going to cause all kinds of bacterial infections with your food. So those are going to be basically gastrointestinal type of infections. And then it's got four regimens of urinary tract infections. I think urinary tract infections are probably going to be a little bit more common in females than they are in males, but you've got it there in case you need it. So what does the kit contain? I'm just going to give you the Ready Pack that I have. Remember that the Ready Pack Plus, at a very, very good price, gives you a couple more azithromycin or Z-Packs, is what they would normally call it. But azithromycin, and I'm allergic to azithromycin, so they personalized my kit for me, and they gave me a substitute antibiotic that I can use in lieu of azithromycin. So there's a wide regimen. There's seven different types of antibiotics that are in the kit. You can go inexpensive and get the Go Pack. You can go moderate, which is what I did, to get the Ready Pack, or you can go the high end, which is the Ready Pack Plus. One other thing I'm going to strongly recommend you do is when you get this and you read everything thoroughly, become familiar with it, also make sure you get a copy of this, because this is going to be something that's going to be extremely important to you. Let me just give you one example or two here. Let's take a look at azithromycin that I'm allergic to. So azithromycin can be used to treat various types of bronchitis, pneumonia, food poisoning caused by Campylobacter, dysentery caused by Shigella, skin infections, throat infections, tonsillitis, sinusitis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, pelvic infections, whooping cough, and Lyme disease. What a great solution to have in your toolkit as far as addressing any kind of antibiotic or any kind of infections or disease that you might have in the future. So this is Lee, the Cold War Prepper. I'm going to tell you, do me a favor. I'm not going to give you my link. I would much rather you just be aware of the fact that you can get this. Go to contingencymedical.com, and by me not giving you my link and me not getting a commission off of that, that just tells you how important it is. I would much rather see you have this in your kit than me make money. Okay. However, you can get $10 off if you use my code CWP. That's Charlie Whiskey Papa. And if you put that in as your discount when you check out, you'll get $10 off your kit. So that's Lee. Stay prepared. Get something that's going to take care of all those little bitty, you'd never know when it's going to happen, those boo-boos, those lung infections, that dysentery and everything else that's going to be happening. maybe you have a solution for raw sewage, but your neighbors don't. So, think about that. And then what are the flies going to be bringing to you and all that kinds of stuff. Just be prepared. Get some antibiotics. Take care of yourself. So this is Lee, the Cold War Prepper, saying, remember that we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. Please be kind, polite, and respectful to each other because togetherness is the key. Take care. Bye-bye.